There is a hidden force that's controlling you. It operates outside of your awareness, but influences every single life decision you make. And throughout history, some very skilled and powerful people knew how to leverage it to their own advantage. By leveraging mimetic desire, Edward Bernays, Sigmund Freud's nephew, basically shaped American consumer culture. He understood one thing that Aristotle understood more than 2,000 years ago: human beings are imitators by nature. And back in the 1920s, Bernays was hired by Lucky Strike, the tobacco company, and had one job: unlock the female market for them and break the social taboo against women smoking cigarettes. So in a vicious and genius spin, Bernays used the feminist vehicle to promote his mission. Cigarettes, still equated with men, became torches of freedom for women. And thanks to Bernays, the sales of cigarettes to women went from 5% in 1923 to 18% in 1935. This video is not about Edouard Bernays and his nefarious use of mimetic desire, but it's about the power of mimetic desire and how to be aware of it to protect yourself from the negative side of it. And after secluding myself in Norway for a few days to rethink my whole life, I'm going to share with you a very practical process that will help you uncover your true and deep desires instead of pursuing unfulfilling goals that you've been programmed to pursue by people like Bernays. My recent obsession with mimetic desire came after reading Luc Burgis' book, Wanting. Since then, I dove deeper into the subject and into the originator of the theory of mimetic desire, René Girard. To make it simple, René Girard explains that all desire is an imitation of another person's desire.
Si vous voulez, le choix de l'objet est déterminé non pas par la rareté de cet objet, mais par leur rencontre, par les points de contact, par le fait que, instinctivement, ils s'imitent l'un l'autre, donc ils vont devenir rivaux.
We only pursue an object when others have deemed it worthwhile to pursue. So most desires are a result of mimesis more than personal preference. And this happens because of models or people we imitate. Luc Burgis explains that there are two types of mediators of desire. First are the external mediators of desire, and these are celebrities, high-profile individuals who we imitate, but they're not in our direct reality. These individuals influence our desires by being trendsetters. We don't really compare ourselves directly to them, but we value their opinions. That's why marketers really understood how to use social proof in their advertisements. And the second category are the internal mediators of desire. These are friends, peers, family members, people from the same social standing as us that we compare ourselves to. We pick a specific career path because our friends in college said that is the right path to pick. Or we want to buy a Tesla now because our neighbor also drives a Tesla. All of this happens unconsciously. So what can we do about it? Should we just accept that our free will is extremely limited? Or is there a way to counter this mimesis, or at least use it to our advantage? One of the first times I witnessed mimesis in action was when I was in university. We used to go out with friends in Parisian bars and clubs to talk to girls. And that's when I came across a lot of guys who were really, really good at seduction. They were not extremely attractive, but they had the riz. Women just couldn't resist them. And seeing these guys improved my own seduction skills, but it also made me realize something troubling about human nature: the power of perception. Because when I started observing these guys, I saw that they had a process in place. When they'll walk up to a group of girls, they'll start talking to the girl they like. They'll show interest to the girl and they'll give her their full attention. But then they'll abruptly switch their attention to the girl's friends. Then something fascinating will happen. The girl who is mildly interested at first will start making more efforts to get the guy's attention back. He'll give her some attention again, and then he'll pull it away. And the more he pulled his attention away, the more interested the girl became. It was an interesting loop, because the more interest her friends will show, the more attracted she became. The guy's attractiveness will increase, and it starts like a small competition within the group. It was one of the most interesting ways that mimetic desire manifests itself. We desire what other people desire. But mimesis is not limited to male-female dynamics. You can see it manifests itself differently in the corporate world. As a marketing and sales professional myself, who is leading a team, understanding mimesis didn't just help me be more successful in selling, but also as a manager. As Peter Thiel says, within a business context, we think that conflict comes from differences within a team or departments, but that's not really the case.
One of the ways in which it's influenced me a great deal is thinking about how to avoid conflict within a business. And certainly my experience over the last 10, 12 years is that that's almost always the case, that the really great conflicts were over people wanting the same things.
As a manager, every time I had to resolve a conflict, it's usually because people wanted the same thing. Either they stepped on each other's toes to pursue the same opportunity to sell, or they competed for the same promotion or the same financial reward. So I had to really make sure everyone had clear responsibilities, territories, and boundaries to avoid any conflict. The problem is we can't really switch off mimetic desire. But the advantage is once you're aware of it, you can use it to your advantage. Marketers, seducers, politicians, investors, and even con artists know how to leverage it to use it to their own advantage. Peter Thiel, when he made the first investment on Facebook, allegedly said, "I always bet on Mimesis." He understood that people would want to be on Facebook if their friends are already on Facebook. Now, never in history did we have as many external and internal mediators of desire right in our faces. We see what every friend, old classmate, family member, even celebrity is up to. Because of social media, we're exposed to mimesis on steroids. Oh, a friend is enjoying a vacation in the Maldives? Well, maybe that should be my next travel destination. We have models and mediators of desire that we imitate, whether we know it or not. Since we pick these models unconsciously, I made the conscious decision to pick the right models. People I want to be inspired by. I read their books, I observe their behavior, and study their lives. And this led me a few months ago to really take a step back and think about my own desires and goals in life. I realized that I've been caught up so much in day-to-day work and travel that it's been a long time that I didn't sit quietly for a few days and rethink my life. I started questioning everything. Did I pick the right career path? Am I pursuing the right goals? Where did my desires stem from? What am I really looking for in life? That's when I decided to do a small silent retreat and think about all of this. Luke Burgess shares in his book Wanting a great way to escape the matrix of mimesis. He recommended doing a silent retreat for a few days every year to really think about our thick desires, our authentic goals and desires that will really make us feel fulfilled. The thin desires are the goals we're programmed to pursue through social conditioning and corporate advertising. They're thin because they're not really fulfilling once we get them. This concept of thick and thin desires resonated immediately, and I decided to book a trip to Norway to seclude myself for a few days there. I'm in beautiful Oslo, Norway for the week. I've been secluding myself here, basically. And what Luke Burgess recommended in his book is to take a few days off during the year with absolutely no external stimulation, just your own thoughts and books. No music, no screens. I did my own version of it, and that's why I picked Norway as a remote place from where I live, which is Paris. What I did was just journal intensely, read books, and flaneur across the city, spending time really with my thoughts. I went through this exercise that Luke Burgess recommended doing. What you try to do is uncover your motivational patterns, basically. He explains that there are 3 motivational patterns. The first one is the explorer. These are people who like to explore things, do not stick to one subject, but they get their fulfillment by exploring different interests, different subjects. The second one is the master. I always thought I was falling into this category because I like to dive deep into subjects. I have a few interests, but I like to dive deep. But Luke Burgess explains that there is a third one, which is the comprehend/explainer. And these people like to share their knowledge after mastering a subject. And I'm definitely falling into this category, hence the YouTube channel and me liking to share what I learned and my challenges and the obstacles I overcome in my life. I really recommend going through this exercise. Like I said, spend a few days with no screens, no external stimulation. This is something that we rarely do during our modern era. We're bombarded every day by noise. And spending time in a cafe with no screen, no books, just spending time with your own thoughts. Some people start to look at you in a weird way, but I enjoyed it. And after these past few days, I like to believe that what I'm trying to pursue in life are definitely my thick desires. I really spent time questioning everything that I'm trying to pursue, whether it's my profession, trying to build a team and managing a team, but also having this YouTube channel and sharing whatever knowledge I'm picking up during my journey.